We got to keep saying it over and over again. Tariffs mean we, the consumer, the residents, the citizens, pay more. So even though there's been lots of coverage on this, and there's still just some people who stubbornly can't get it that no matter how you dice it, a trade war and these tariffs that are going on have only one most likely outcome, and that is we pay more in the short term, in the long term. So how is that? And I'm going to explain it, and you have to trust me because I'm yet another random guy on the internet, so I'm a very valid source of information. But I'm going to explain it in a way that at least hopefully makes sense. So let's get into it. What is a tariff? A tariff is a tax, a commission, a dollar amount, a price amount that is charged, a percentage, when a good is brought from one country to another country. Now, first thing to know, tariffs are not paid by governments at all. That is not how goods and services work, or goods at least, not services. So it is paid by an importer. So if I want to import some umbrellas, I am going to be charged a tariff, a percentage on whatever I'm bringing in, and have to pay that to get it into the country. So if my umbrellas used to cost $10 and now I have a 50% tariff, what am I going to do to make up for that 50% extra cost? I think I'm going to have to raise my price for my umbrellas by 50%. That's how tariffs work in a nutshell. Super basic. So why is it that tariffs and trade wars are typically a really bad idea? Because on the surface of it, it sounds good. Let's tariff all the stuff coming in, making it more expensive to make stuff overseas and bring it to the in-country so that we start manufacturing things here ourselves, once again, like we used to, be less reliant on the rest of the world for our products and produce. Sounds like a decent idea. The problem is, it will still always lead to us paying more. And that's been the promise of the current administration, is that prices will come down. We're going to bring all the money back into America. Everyone's going to make more and things are going to cost less and everyone's lives will be great. It ain't going to work like that. Think about it this way. For the last several decades, why have we been getting our products mostly from China? Because they can produce it cheaper. Got it. So, okay, we want to produce it here again. No matter what you do, you can't make our labor and our cost of the raw materials as cheap as China can currently. Maybe one day Americans will accept Chinese wages, which you're going to get a shock if you see how much they make in those factories per day. And a lot of the raw materials, well, some we can get here pretty inexpensively, that we can produce here, that we can mine here. But a lot of it has to come from other countries. So if the main supply of a certain product or raw material is mostly coming out of a mine in some other country that we literally don't have more mines we can open up here, how's that going to work for our products and prices? It will always mean we pay more. If we get what the current administration wants and we move manufacturing back to here and we start producing things and selling things from made in America, that still means your prices go up. That doesn't endgame mean that our prices will now be lower because things are made in America. That's what people seem to be highlighting, that short term, we're going to pay more because everyone's retaliating with their own tariffs. So now we're in a back and forth, and it's a competition, prick waving contest. So yeah, we're going to absolutely all pay more in the short term. There is no light at the end of that tunnel for prices. They will always go up if this continues. The only way prices will come back down if all this stuff chills out and tariffs are removed or reduced to where they were. Now, I personally believe tariffs can be very useful if done with nuance and thought. So let's say you wanted to increase tariffs. You don't just increase it by 25, 50, 100%, whatever, all the numbers being thrown on. You don't do that overnight. You don't do that in a month or a year. You do that slowly. That gives companies times to adjust so that they can move manufacturing over here and figure things out and slowly adjust prices. But no, we have a blowhard. who's just going to threaten big numbers right away, right now. So that's pretty much all you need to know in 5 minutes about why all this tariff stuff ain't going to bring your prices down. That is very, very, very unlikely. And here's the other thing. Let's talk about agriculture, produce. So if you tariff that, and I haven't checked what the tariffs are, the talk is on agriculture. So I did see a Fox News lady saying, oh, well, we can grow our coffee here. Coffee's a big one. I drink coffee every damn day. So this Fox News lady was saying, oh, you can get your coffee from in America because Hawaii grows coffee, Kona coffee. I've had Kona coffee. I've been to Hawaii. It is lovely. That is one regional location that is a relatively tiny island where we can grow coffee beans. You can't change the climate of any particular state. We cannot grow. Kona coffee is like maybe a fraction of a percent. I didn't check it. I'm going to be upfront, but they are a tiny, tiny percent of the total coffee drank in the United States. By far, we're getting stuff from Colombia, Brazil, all the places where you can grow coffee beans in large quantities. And Americans drink their coffee in very large quantities. Maybe you could start trying to grow them somewhere in like Southern California, maybe Florida, maybe, but it will never be enough to fully get rid of imported coffee. It will mean higher prices, all that. Are you going to grow bananas in Minnesota? How many states can you grow bananas in? And a lot of people like the bananas. So yeah, you can't change what we have in terms of natural resources. And we are now used to using the natural resources from the global economy. So you want to start waving your tariffs around, it's going to hurt only us, the consumers. Hope that helps.